Alright everyone, I think we're way past do some honesty time here. Yes, you love mangas and anime. Whoa, Sasuke is so badass. Oh my god, Attack on Titan is so good. Yeah, we get it. But for some reason at the same time, you just can't stop shitting on them. I don't get it. No matter where I land on the internet, whether it's YouTube, Reddit, or God forbid Twitter. I mean X. Oh my god, X. Elon, what did you do? Everywhere I look, I just can't stop seeing people shit on anime. Boo-hoo, I can't find a good mangas to read anymore. Boo-hoo, animes are all the same now. Boo-hoo-hoo, my girlfriend left me for my dad. Boo-hoo. I'm sorry, sometimes my feelings, they surface. Alright, so yes, anime, mangas, yes, all good and fun until you go full circle and can't find anything new to read, right? Well, fear not, your good old pal here will help you go back to your degenerate roots. I found the reasons why any of you can find mangas to save your life, and I'll share those with you. Starting with reason number 1. You guys only go for popular mangas. Can't you guys just understand that popular doesn't mean good? Just look at the second season of SAO for example. This horrible pile of garbage was popular for months after release, and yet, it's the worst second season of anything that ever had a second season. And you're gonna stand there and tell me that this anime is what a good story and character development looks like? Come on now, might as well tell me that my father is still out at the shop getting milk. Now, I'm not saying that popular mangas are shit, I'm just saying that looking for good stories to read in that section only is not the way to go. And more than often, you'll find yourself disappointed in what you find. Because let's not kid ourselves, the popular opinion is almost never the right one, especially if we're talking about mangas. It is very important to keep in mind that popular mangas are there because they are simple enough for everyone to read and enjoy. And I mean everyone. Kids, casual viewers, new viewers, and your regular purists who think they know better than the authors themselves.
Listen, man, just watch it in Japanese.
Fuck you purists, stop ruining everyone's fun. All in all, using the popular tab when you're looking for new mangas to read is never a great idea. You'll go through that list and realize that most of it is the same recycled stories and characters. Now, reason number 2. You simply don't look amongst older mangas. For this one, I'm gonna have to vent a little, because it's personal. One thing that I hated so much throughout my years of reading mangas is when people said they wouldn't read a piece of work because it was old or because it didn't look as nice as the most recent releases, which pisses me off so much. What is wrong with you people? It's like complaining that you have nothing to eat with a full fridge. That is just downright insulting. And then those same people will have the balls to come back and say that they can't find anything to read? How dare you? Old mangas are what you should live for. They are exactly what people are looking for when they can't find anything new to read. They are simple yet mesmerizing. The creativeness in them is amazing and there are so many of them too. Stories like Yu Yu Hakusho, Slam Dunk, Fruits Basket, and GTO are masterpieces of their time. They bring beautiful stories and characters to the table, and when you're done reading them, you are left with an amazing feeling. The same feeling you have when you come home from school, you have a few days off ahead of you, you are ordering food for supper, and all your friends are online to play games the whole night. We all know that feeling, and oh boy is it a warm one. Missing out on those timeless classics just because you think they are old is a tragedy. You're better off reading Pupa until you bleed out of your eyes at that point. You know what? I take that back, I'm sorry. That was way too harsh. You should never have to read that. Also, you guys have to keep in mind that back in the 80s and the 90s, authors had nowhere to look for new manga ideas other than their own heads. There weren't a lot of established mangas out there that you could base your ideas on. Sure, you had the classic Dragon Ball Z and Detective Conan, but this was nothing compared to today. It would be like comparing my view count to Gigax. Alright, one can dream, right? Alright, as I was saying, back then, you had to start with a clean slate, and it was just you and your creativity from there. So please, when you're looking for something new to read and can't find anything at all, just go back in time and look for something refreshing. Give it a chance, I promise you. You'll come out of it with a smile as big as my self-doubt. Now let's move on to reason number 3. You don't give most mangas a chance. Since you guys are big babies and need a Reddit comment to tell you if a manga is good or not, you miss out on a huge amount of great work. Stop blindly listening to other people and make your own opinion for God's sake. If you look for recommendations, that's fine. There's a ton of great YouTubers that always recommend great stuff. I feel like it's a good starting point as it will help you navigate the categories of mangas. Actually, this is where I started when I went full circle reading mangas and couldn't find anything new. What's nice is that you also learn about other authors who don't have much light shown onto them. There are a bunch of them that do amazing work, but since the anime and manga scene is so big, it's hard for most of them to find success in that field. I remember when I first started to read Chainsaw Man, I loved it so much that I thought to myself, what if the author wrote other stories similar to this? And then I went ahead and looked at his previous work and found that he indeed had other mangas that he worked on before his big break with Chainsaw Man, and they were an amazing read. I recommend one of them right now. It's called Fire Punch. Read it, you won't be disappointed. And just before I finish with this part, please stop following the rating charts like it's a guide for your survival. A manga rated 7 out of 10 for the general audience can easily be a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10 for you. So stop thinking about ratings and just give mangas a try if you find them interesting at first glance. Remember, the rating chart is not the cool kid in school. Be your own self and choose what you want. Reason number 4. Well, now this shouldn't be a surprise for any of you, but most manga readers look for something they expect to like based on what they've previously read. In other words, you guys don't take risks. Of course, it's fine to look for something you know you will like. I do this all the time. What I'm trying to say is to be careful with it. You don't want to adapt your taste to one kind of mangas and nothing else. You'll quickly find that you fucked yourself harder than I did my grades last semester. I always suggest anyone who is looking for something new to read to try every manga, and I mean every one of them. Just go through a list of mangas and try them one by one. If after 2 or 3 chapters you're not hooked, then just go on to the next one, and the next one, and then the next one, until you find something you like. I've actually been doing this for almost a year now, and I found so many really interesting mangas. Mangas that I would have never found if I continued looking for things that I would expect to like. It's actually insane the amount of different themes you can find in mangas. There are good mangas about climbing, about being a clerk in a store, about being in a walking club, and so many others. I know these don't sound so fun to read, but that's exactly the point I'm trying to make. Don't expect anything, just read. I've legit found a manga about camping that is so good. It makes no sense on paper because of how simple and realistic it is, but when you read it, it's like you're part of the story. I don't know how to explain it exactly, but it feels like you're a character in the story, and instead of reading it, you're actually living it. For people who would be interested in it, it's called Futari Solo Camp. I'll also give you guys a list of some of my recommendations in the comments. Oh, and also, if you guys have any mangas you'd like to recommend, don't hesitate to share them in the comment section. I'd love to read them. And last but not least, reason number 5. Well, I'll just say it how it is. You guys have shit tastes. And that's it. That's the whole reason. You guys just don't have good tastes. Some of you are just incapable of finding most mangas entertaining. I don't know if it's because you're not into them as much as you would like, or if it's simply that you find different things entertaining. And that's fine. Some people didn't grow up with mangas in their lives and are not as passionate about them as others. One thing is for sure, to me, mangas will always be my biggest love in life.
What the fuck did you just say?
No, nothing. It's not.